here I am with Hunter Brockreed, one of our members here at Absolute Strength Gym. Today I just want to get some different perspectives from different people on who they are, what makes them tick, then how they value strength. So welcome. Thanks for being here,
Thanks
sir.
for having me.
Appreciate it. So tell me about yourself a little bit, Hunter.
My name's Hunter Brockreed. I like long walks on the beach.
Nice. Sorry, ladies. He has a girlfriend.
I'm 33 years old. I grew up in West Long Branch, New Jersey, right down the road. Went to High Shore Regional, graduated in 2004. After that, I joined the Marine Corps. 2004 to 2008.
Banging barbells in the back?
Yep. That was a good experience, obviously. I grew up very young. I served in the infantry, and eventually I was in a scout sniper platoon. And I did 2 combat tours in Iraq. The first one was in 2005, Syrian border along Husaybah and the Al Qaim region. Very active. My first deployment, we pushed through a couple of cities, house-to-house fighting. Our main objective at that time was to go at Ali, who was the main target, who was the original creator of ISIS.
Okay.
So that was an eye-opening experience. 18 years old, obviously, because it was you had to grow up really quick.
Yeah.
I came back and then got ready for our next deployment, which was Fallujah, and we continued.
Which was no cakewalk.
No cakewalk. It wasn't the original push.
Okay.
The guys did in 2004, but it was still very active. I think that was 2006. So during the whole time frame when I was in, it was a very, offensive operations in the region. So it was very, it was rewarding. I wouldn't trade anything for it in the world,
Okay.
and I think it made me who I am today, to tell you the truth. Besides 9/11,
Sure.
that made me who I am. Came back in 2008. A month later, I went right to Monmouth University. So a month prior, I was in the military as a sergeant, and I get out and I go right to Monmouth University, which was eye-opening experience.
Yeah, how was that? That sounds like a very interesting 180-degree turn.
Yeah, because I was technically a freshman. So here I am at 22, right? And I'm in class with a bunch of 18-year-old kids, which was great.
Which being 22, even just being 22, is so much older than an 18-year-old.
Yes.
But the fact that obviously all the maturity that you gained being deployed and being in the military.
Yeah, it was eye-opening. I learned a lot of patience and just how to deal with that type of that crowd. But it's Monmouth University is a great school, obviously.
Yeah.
They've come a long way, and during that time, we actually started a Veterans Association program.
Oh, cool.
So it was really helping vets come back and obtain their college degree. So I served as vice president and president of that organization. It was good because guys like Chris Fazio, who I met, he was part of that, and it's important because it's hard if you don't have the guidance and the structure from family life, whatever the case may be. It definitely would help you get that goal, get that degree.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things that people need to do as far as go to college, as far as making transitions from one thing to another, that there's really no guidance in. And,
right.
The fact that you had a hand in creating something that was
I think that was very important because, like I said, college itself is difficult. That's not an easy task to get through classes, and when you've been through kind of the experiences that we have, a lot of guys' mentalities were, well, I don't need this. Why do I need to get this piece of paper? Which, trust me, at some points myself, I'm like, what am I doing here? But I saw the end game and the importance of it. Yeah. So that was good. I graduated. My degree was political science, which I loved. My minor was public policy and foreign policy. Okay. So it was very current event-driven debates. It was great, and learned a lot of the history of the United States and how the government's run and how it operates.
And so you have certainly a unique perspective on the current state of affairs that's going on here. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what drew me to that. Instead of one specific, it's a very broad major. Sure. Kind of go in different directions, which I enjoyed. I graduated. I got my bachelor's degree in 3 years. So I really took a lot of summer classes and motored through it.
From my experience, summer classes are horrible.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many I dropped when I was in college. I'm like, fuck this. I'm not doing it.
Well, what's cool is that they weren't packed.
Right.
The teachers were really laid back during the summer because they
didn't want to be there either.
Right.
Yeah.
So my thought process was take as many summer classes as possible because they were probably the easiest to get good grades in.
Okay.
Right. And they were laid back. There's like 5 people to 10 people a class.
I think the ones I took were over they're over winter break. And I don't know if they were more intense, but they just seemed that way. I'm like, to hell with this. I'm not doing it. I'm working at those too much.
Yeah, it was.
So that's impressive.
So I graduated in 2011. Right when I graduated, I was hired as a police officer in Wall Township. So
Okay.
I went through the police academy.
How was that?
It was good. It was I was a class leader right from the get-go and all the way through.
How was that compared to Marine Corps training? Is it similar? Does it have any kind of asymmetry?
Well, it was good. A lot of the drill instructors were former military guys,
Okay.
right? So a lot of Marines, Army guys, and Navy guys. So they did the best that they could, and it was very well, coordinated. Obviously, it's not the intensity of military training, nor it should be.
Right.
A lot more learning with the laws, state laws, everything like that.
Which is really important.
Really
yeah.
important. So we learned everything to be a good police officer.
Okay.
I was a class leader there, and we had a good group, a lot of veterans, so it kind of helped bring the class together with people that weren't in the military. That was our first experience doing something like that.
Yeah.
So it was very important. Yeah.
That sounds like kind of like what you did at Monmouth, as far as you had people who were kind of transitioning from one aspect of their life to another. But you had already had this kind of experience as far as that training goes, and you took these kids who didn't have that experience and kind of led them, which is probably very helpful.
Yeah, it was helpful. I think the instructors appreciate that, and I'm a very straightforward person. So I led by example. And I think
which is super important.
Which is
everything you do.
Right. So, like for example, every morning we'd start with PT, right, at 05 or 05:30, I can't remember. Really early in the morning, and we would just start off with a 3 to 5 mile run, and then do calisthenics, or whatever the instructors had in place. And we would have this med pack. So the med pack is obviously in case anyone gets hurt, you can wrap them up right then and there.
Okay. And
usually it was passed around, right, to weaker runners, kind of like a punishment. So I took it upon myself. I ran with the med pack every day for 6 months.
Wow.
So ran.
That probably helped your fitness out.
Yeah, it was good. But
how much did that weigh, you think?
I'd probably say 30 to 40. Okay. And then we got to a certain point where the instructors didn't want me to do that anymore. So they made me pass it off, and then I brought my own ruck in.
Okay.
I asked, so I brought my own ruck in, and I probably put 50 to 70 pounds in there.
Wow.
And ran with that every day.
All right, so question, after, obviously, you had a lot of experience rucking in the Marine Corps and obviously carrying your gear around overseas. Did you continue on with that when you came back and did college, or did you just stop it and then all of a sudden I'm rucking again?
Yeah, right when I got out, obviously I kind of want to take a break from all that.
Okay.
I got into just meathead lifting.
Okay.
There was no purpose, rhyme, or reason.
Just getting the pump.
Monmouth had a beautiful gym. I
Yeah,
said,
really
I'm doing that 3 hours a day because one, it gets that's my stress reliever is training.
Keeps you out of trouble too, I bet.
Keeps you out of trouble. Yeah. It really helps me clear my head, and I enjoy it. It's a great feeling to constantly train. So I think I got up to when I was in the Marine Corps, I was about 230, 240 pretty leaned up because I was running so much in calisthenics. And then when I was in Monmouth, just lifting for fun, I think I got up to like 295 to 305. So
and then you're how tall?
6'5".
Okay.
So I put a lot of weight on. It wasn't healthy weight. I was eating everything and anything.
Well, plus with Monmouth, there's the food court kind of thing, and it's just like all you need, right?
Well, listen, I was like eating like pizza. I was enjoying life again, so I was eating.
You're eating to get big. Eat for gains.
Yeah. I was drinking a lot of beer, which I don't do anymore. So it was very. I got
beer and pizza is the ultimate gains.
I carved up every day. There was no cardio during that time in my life.
It's carbs and no cardio.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. I've been there. I know that.
Oh yeah. So
man, it's so easy.
I got the meathead in the meathead section, and it got big for no reason, and I would walk for 5 feet and be out of breath, so I knew I had to come to an end.
Yeah, I bet.
And
so when you went into the police academy, where were you at as far as physical goes?
I was still coming toward because I just graduated college, so I was leaning up a little bit more because I realized it wasn't the best, but I was still. I think my first. We did our weigh-in. I was like 280 when I started the police academy, but I could run still, which shocked them because it was like.
Well, I think that's the thing people don't know enough about. Like, there's a lot of athletes who, or whatever, that have a huge base that they've built over the course of their lives, and they still have the ability to tap into that. Right. So you had that obviously with the Marine Corps, and you were an athlete in school when you were in high school and stuff like that too. So, I think people shock themselves when they don't do anything for a while, and then all of a sudden it's oh shit, this guy can run 5 miles. It looks like he can't even walk 5 feet.
5 feet.
Yeah.
So it was, it was definitely a struggle. I realized like I got to get back into military type shape, and they did that for us. By the time I was done, I was like 230 again, 235, and it was perfect.
Nice.
But great training program. I went from a lot of lifting to body weight, pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups, till you can't do them anymore. A lot of kettlebell activities, a lot of obstacle courses, and just running. So it was good. It was. That's the way to be, in my personal opinion. The meathead.
I mean, I feel like the meathead stuff has its place in the evolution of the person, Like I feel like everybody goes through that phase in their life,
Right.
where they do that stuff.
Right.
But I think some people get stuck in it.
Oh yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah.
this is the only way. And it's like, I think as you evolve as an athlete, as a human being, like you test different stuff out, and
Yeah,
you're like,
absolutely.
I like doing different stuff. Like me, for instance, with the bike riding, we're doing that triathlon,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
It's like, it's not my comfort zone, but
No.
it's different and it's fun because it's new. It's not just I'm doing curls again today.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I mean, I've worked at a lot of gyms, and you see people who are like, they're day in day out and they're doing the same thing. And you're like, how is this giving you any kind of like
Right. It's
any kind of mental stimulus? You know?
I think that's, and I agree with you on that. Is that you constantly have to challenge yourself and reinvent yourself almost. I'm a firm believer. Before I came here, I'm still new here, and I love it here. I was doing the training room in Avon, which is strictly pretty much kettlebell training.
Yeah, a lot of kettlebells and bodyweight stuff there, right?
But
Oh, you guys are great.
awesome,
Yeah.
knowledgeable, great guys. But I was like, you know what? I heard of CrossFit, and I didn't really understand it until I came in here, and I realized the importance of it for full body mobility, strength. I'm way more flexible than I started now. My movements alone have changed.
Which is, I mean, 6'4", for you guys watching, is hard to do a lot of the movements fully in range of motion. So just based on the fact that you're long and your limbs are so much longer. So
yeah, it's a big learning curve. I like the progress. I think you have to enjoy progress, and you shouldn't expect results right away. I like sucking at shit. You know what I mean?
I think that's all right. So I want to stop you there because I want you to elaborate more on that, because that's, again, I'm doing this podcast because I want people to hear different perspectives, and I think there's a lot of insights that people have that aren't showcased enough. And I think that point is a huge point. It can be very helpful for anybody looking to start something new or get involved in fitness or whatever it may be.
Right.
Elaborate on that a little more.
So what I mean by that is that I think that nowadays people want instant gratification. That's our society, right? So with, we talked about this before, social media. It's a blessing, but there's also negative sides, in my opinion. I think people they want to see things happen right away.
Sure.
That's just not life. They look at all these pictures on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. People look in a certain way, and they're like, I want that. So maybe I should buy that pill that's going to get me ripped in 5 weeks. It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work either, so you just spend money.
Right, just wasted money. So if you really want to change your appearance or whatever your goal is, it takes time and consistency. If you're consistent throughout your whole life, I'm a firm believer, if you at least do something every day to better yourself, whatever, fitness or mental health or whatever the case may be, it will resonate long term.
Yeah.
I think it will definitely help people out. Not just staying fit or whatever the case may be, but just overall better themselves as human beings. But with the progression of training, you have to enjoy that process. I enjoy coming in here every day. Man, I suck at that. That dude is really good, so I'm going to try and keep up with that person. I think you've seen that with me. Like,
Sure.
When I first got here, I didn't know anything. But I was like, I'm not letting that guy beat me. Just
Okay.
not. But that's my mentality. I've always been that way.
Which again is a strong point, but it can also be a weak point too.
Absolutely.
So it's important to take your strengths and use them, but also realize that your greatest strength can also be your biggest weakness too.
Right.
So
Right.
I think that's I think we've tried to catch you a couple times. Like, all right, slow down. Just make sure you do this really good. Don't worry about trying to speed up with this, especially when you're doing like a bodyweight workout and there's a little guy who's like a bodyweight little like whiz, and you're trying to keep up with him. It's like, dude, it's not going to be fair all the time. Like, there's no weight classes here.
There's
so
no
you
weight
can't-
class. But that's what makes it fun, though.
No,
you know what I
for
mean?
sure.
When I could keep up with somebody half my size, I'm like, that's a great feeling.
Yeah.
I remember doing a half marathon one time. Me and my buddy, who was a retired SEAL in Vietnam, older, and he was about a little short of me, about my size, and we were passing people that were about $150, and at that time I was 290.
Yeah, which I don't know how your knees even stand it. It's
I
amazing.
don't know
You
either.
got like super joints.
Yeah, I don't know. Knock on wood, I've never been. That was loud.
That was a good knock.
I've never been injured to that point where my body's just be able to sustain the type of training and punishment that it's been through. But yeah, I constantly like challenges, man. I think that's what makes the human spirit strong. I really do. I think I think it makes people go.
I like it.
So.
And then, you're at Wall Township, and then.
Yeah, so I was there for about 3 years. It was a great organization. Learned a lot to deal with people, how to deal with people, and help the community out.
Which is, I mean, obviously, unfortunately, in society, you hear a lot about cops getting into altercation with people, and I mean, it's kind of like everything else. You always have a couple bad seeds.
In every profession.
In a community, and I think the majority of people don't realize that cops are really good at communicating with people because they have to be.
They have to be. Yeah. Well, you understand. A lot of people don't understand. So you have to make split decisions right then and there sometimes.
Sure.
Which every police officer kind of deals with that, right? So it was a great learning experience. I learned a lot about people, good people, bad people, when people are lying to you, their mannerisms, everything like that. So it really kind of opened my eyes to, and you got to remember, I went from a war zone, right, dealing with people that.
But you were constantly watching your back to make sure you're not getting shot
24/7.
at.
So right, so that was a different realm where you're not dealing with the community. You're dealing with the community, but you're dealing with people that want to kill you on a daily basis.
Right.
Not to be dramatic, but that's the way it is.
No. So question now. Yep. Now going from that and then kind of being put back into, I don't know how you would describe this, but a similar type of role maybe. I mean, being a police officer, you're out there to protect the public essentially, but you have a gun essentially. You're walking around, you're armed.
Right. But I'll tell you this: I think my experiences in the military made me a better police officer in what I do today, because I realize what threats are. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, that's a real threat. That's not a real threat. That's
okay. Yeah, because what I was going to ask is did your experience in Iraq, overseas in a war zone, did that make it different when you were like a police officer when you first started? Did you approach it like, holy, I got to make sure we're good? Like, were you
I was
very overly vigilant?
I was very alert and vigilant, but I could turn on and off.
Okay.
I was one of those guys, and I still do it now, where I can talk to anyone, right? But if I see something, I know to turn it on and go the other way.
Okay.
I think that's what helped me.
So you were born with that, right? No, you probably trained it and learned it.
Yes.
I
wasn't. I don't think I was. Listen, I grew up. My father was a police officer. He's a great man. He's my role model, and he was always very. But it wasn't. You knew right from wrong. Obviously, it was. I didn't get away with a lot growing up, but really that. I would say when, like I said, 9/11 happened, I was a sophomore in high school. That changed my whole. I knew right then and there that I was going to go in. So that experience, overseas and just being in my unit was very. To where I'm at today, it kind of propelled my mindset.
Sure.
So I think that gave me an advantage, law enforcement, being a police officer, because guys who don't have that, they kind of, not everyone, but a lot of guys, like that's it, that's the end all be all. Meaning, like, they don't know how to handle sometimes a lot of the other things kind of thrown at them. Where it's very hard for me to get really super stressed. Like I can handle a lot of stress. I've learned that about myself. It could be chaos, and I will just sit there and look and just take it in and. All right,
make a decision. Right,
make a decision. Where I've seen where guys can't, and that's not everyone, but guys, they get a little stressed and they kind of freak out a little bit.
What's that called in the middle? To prioritize and execute, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, from there, I was there for about 3 years, and then I was hired by the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office as a detective, which I think my background helped me get that career and that position. So I did everything from fugitive operations, trial support. I was in our narcotics bureau for a while, and my main goal there, I was assigned to the Bay Shore Task Force. So we would go and try and dismantle, low to mid-level networks. Yep, and pretty much, we unfortunately in the country we have an epidemic with heroin, which is huge. So that was really plaguing that area up there. Okay. So we stayed busy doing that, and at that time I was on a tactical team for the county as well, so I led a lot of the training. And
that probably helped out a lot with all the background, right?
Yeah, it really did, and that was my passion.
Okay.
Still is. Mm-hmm. And I stayed there busy, and then from there I was selected to go and join the Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA, obviously for short, up in Newark. And that right there was an eye opener, because then we went from local stuff to we're actually battling drug trafficking.
You have a major port of Newark. Yeah.
Our group was we targeted large international organizations, as you can imagine. So that was an eye opener, because you see what's out there and the threats that we face as far as the epidemic, as far as narco-terrorism, everything else, far and few between. Yeah.
A lot of money behind it, right?
A lot. It's unreal. Yeah. It's $1 billion industry. Yeah. You're talking. My first seizure with that group was off the turnpike. We seized 150 kilos of cocaine and heroin. And what would be like the street value of that? I think we estimated then I think it was between maybe 5 to 10 million at that range, right there on a truck.
Just turnpike. Yeah. And how much does 150 kilos look like? It's not even that much, right?
It was 5 large duffel bags. Wow. But you take that, and 1 kilo could affect thousands of people. Sure. Right, so what happens? They drop it off and they sell it to the local distributors. They cut it up and it multiplies. Wow! So that comes in on a daily basis, and I won't go into crazy detail about everything else, but it's it's a problem. You know, I quickly learned how much of an issue it is with border security and just being vigilant here inward,
Sure.
you know, as far as not just overseas and you know, keeping our country safe, but also homeland security type of position.
Okay.
So I was there for about 3 years, and then I was selected to do forensics. So I was now like crime scene investigations, which for the county is very rewarding. We do all major crimes, homicides, everything like that, shooting investigations for the county, which unfortunately is really busy around here.
Not in Long Branch.
Yeah.
Other areas.
Other areas. So, you know, so I went from a 180. I went from very aggressive narcotics type work to now everything else is slowed down, methodical, and really solving.
Yeah, that CSI stuff is
very intense. It's very.
I can imagine how. I don't have that kind of attention to detail. I don't think I do.
I didn't think I did either until I actually. Oh my God! Now I really have to pay attention to everything. The school was great. It was an 8-week course taught by the state police, and so I got my basic certification for crime scene investigation. But you just learn on the job as you go, and you realize how much of every case matters as far as evidence and what we do for convictions for cases.
And so if you want to learn how to properly execute a murder, I'm going to leave Hunter's email here. You guys can reach out to him. Just kidding.
Yeah. I'll start my own business after. So I've been there, and you know, I possibly looking at a new venture that I told you about.
Yeah,
so
that sounds cool.
If that's kind of back in the
back more high speed stuff, right?
I wouldn't say high speed. I say it's prevalent. I think it's a very important, obviously, mission since 9/11. So I won't go too much into it, but it'll be definitely
more hands-on, right? As far as like being in the.
Yes, it'll be. If selected, I will be back on the front there, pretty much protecting the state and country from.
So it sounds like, as far as your career path has gone,
it's like
it's literally like a wave in the ocean. Like you're high school, you go overseas, deployed in the war zone. Then I'm back home. I'm in college. Then I'm back up. I'm in police academy. I'm a police officer, and I go to. From there, you went to
Monmouth
County. You're still kind of wave crested, maybe a little higher than being a police officer. And then after that, you went to forensics and kind of dipped back down again. Now you're going to go back up. All right.
Yeah. So it's got. Listen, everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer in that. It's, you know, I would be very happy doing this new position, but it's it's funny how life works out. I feel like I feel like I lived a million lives, and I'm only 33. To tell you the truth,
which is I can say a lot.
But yeah, that's been my life so far. And I met you guys about 5 months ago, and it's been a great ride ever since.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. I think you again offering the ideas, just a different perspective on some things, and I think giving some good insights. So what does fitness mean to you, as far as strength goes? What does that mean to you? I mean, obviously, it's meant different things throughout the wave.
Yes.
But, so, like now, currently,
fitness is my getaway.
Okay.
Okay. That's, like I said before. I mentioned it's my stress reliever. I think fitness, what it means to me, is longevity, competition, stress reliever, mental clarity. It's all those things in one. It's also purpose, and that's how I live my life. It's not where I have to go work out. It's a lifestyle.
Sure.
And that was ingrained for me in the military. Physical fitness is a lifestyle choice. It's not like, oh man, I got to go train today. It's like, man, I can't wait to get in there tomorrow and get after it. And it starts my day off right.
Has it always been that way for you?
Yeah. Okay. Ever since I was, even in high school when I was playing sports, I was very competitive. I was always
really excited to go out.
Yes. Okay. I was always on the move. I feel like I'm like that now, but I just like training.
When do you think, I mean, I feel like everybody at some point in your life was like, I don't want to do this shit. And it's like, when do you think you made that switch? Like, nah, I actually enjoy doing this. Or was it always there?
Well, from high school, it was more of like, okay, I enjoy training, but it wasn't like, I didn't know exactly why. It's just for the sport was whatever. I think the military is like, okay, this is why we're training. This is the importance of it. Because
so why? Okay, that's super important.
Super important.
Okay.
You have to be physically fit in that arena. I mean, there was my unit, especially when I was a regular grunt, you could say, it was prevalent. But when I went to kind of the next step for the Scout Sniper platoon, it was, you know, had a tryout and the whole thing, and you're constantly evaluated. Like, everyone was a physical fitness freak in their own way. Like, everyone could smoke anyone else on anything, but it was just guys who wanted to be there, be more of a team, and it was more of like, I got to keep up with the wolf pack. That's literally, I mean, as corny as that sounds, that's what it was, because If
I think that's
you constantly had to
a
prove
good visual.
yourself every day.
Yeah.
You know, so if you were weak at that point in time, they didn't want anything to do with you. So you had to constantly be on the next level of training.
I think the average person could take some insight to that and turn it into their own life. Like, what's something that you would think keeping up with the Wolfpack for? You know what I mean?
You know, that's obviously an extreme,
Sure.
for important reason. But I think, you know, enjoy the. I'm trying to find a good word for it, but enjoy learning. You know, like, people that come here every day at 5:30, that's awesome. You know what I mean? You should get to a point in your life where if you miss something, you feel like, oh man, I missed out. I need to get back into it. That's the type of mentality.
Yeah.
Not like, I'll miss 2 days, 3 days, I'll get back to it. If you miss a day, like, man, I got to at least go do something today. If I know I miss a day like today, I'll at least go for a walk or something low key or bike ride or something like that. Constantly moving.
Because if you don't, what happens for you? Like,
I get agitated.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I got a lot of energy built up, but I feel like I need to constantly do something.
Okay. I'm on the same boat. I agree. And
Yeah.
if I don't do something, I feel like, God, I didn't do shit today. Or something.
Right,
Like,
right.
I don't care what. It could be anything. Like walk. Like a long walk is awesome.
I think it's
On the
great.
beach is right here too.
And that's also healthy. I think it's healthy to,
totally.
to, especially in today's world, to take in the world a little bit. You know what I mean? Go look around, look up from your phone, and literally look around, look how beautiful it is. You know, people
Agreed.
I think don't take advantage of that. I think we take it for granted, especially us. We live right on the ocean.
Yeah, I know. It's
crazy.
It's so. I mean, for me, I went to the beach twice last year.
Yeah.
You know, like
we live right here.
I gotta take advantage of it more.
Absolutely.
All right, so why do you train now? Like what's your why now? I think it's obviously changed throughout your.
Yeah, I think the why now is one. I'm getting older. I want to stay physically young. I do it for my career path too, and my future career path, because you have to. It's kind of get back in that wolf pack mentality. If I go that direction, so I train to keep myself safe, keep myself healthy, and just to get better in life. To tell you the truth, just every day get better at something. I like to learn. I'm a big facilitator of I want to learn something new today.
Okay.
That's why every time I'm here, I'll if you show me something, I literally look. I'm like, okay, I need to do this, and then I try to soak it in and go, because you can't. In life, I think it's always good to be the new guy, and what I mean by that is it's always good to learn. Right? You can't be the best at everything. I think a lot of people get in that rut sometimes where they don't like to be told what to do, or they don't like taking advice.
Big time.
I like being a new guy. I like learning from somebody like yourself or the other instructors that have been doing it for a while. Like, okay, I'm going to take from that person, this person, and apply it to myself and see what I can do. It's good to be the new person.
Good to be the new guy.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Yep. That's how I live my life.
You get a picture, you put a quote that's good to be the new guy.
Good to be the new guy.
That's funny. When Hunter first came here, he did one of the little workouts that we had for like a side thing, and he put FNG next to for his name.
Oh, the assault, the 300 calories or whatever it was.
Fucking new guy.
I like that, though. That's how I live my life, man.
No, that's cool. I like that a lot.
I got to constantly prove myself.
Okay.
That's how I live my life.
I like it.
Absolutely.
I like it. I think you put some really good points to paper. Well, it's a video, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it'd be helpful for some people to listen to this and just kind of, see different perspectives and understand what makes people tick.
Absolutely.
And then maybe be able to take, something away from it and be like, hey, it's a good reason for me to continue, incorporating some kind of strength into my life, training, whatever it may be. Because as far as I'm concerned, I don't give a shit what people are doing as long as you're doing something.
Absolutely.
For me, I get like a. All right, I don't know if that. Hopefully, I saved that damn video. Otherwise, me and Hunter will be doing this again. But I should have seen now. If I was smart, I would be recording too and like doing everything. But that's the whole fucking new guy stuff, right? That's me.
That's the new guy stuff.
New guy. No, I was just talking about how, just real quick, I wanted to just kind of finish up, but how it makes my skin crawl when I see people just that are filled with potential, but they're just like, and just I don't want to do anything. I'm like kind of. And they're complaining about this, that, and the other, but they don't want to pick their ass up and do anything about it. And
Right.
it's just tough to digest that and see that. And I try to steer away from it.
Yeah,
I think that's what's important about being in a good atmosphere.
Absolutely.
And not letting that negativity.
And you can't be scared to try new things.
Right.
And I think a lot of people are scared to kind of try new things and get out of their comfort zone. That's a popular word nowadays. It's like, get out of your comfort zone. But really, it's a fear for a lot of people, because if you're not used to getting out of your comfort zone, I love being uncomfortable. Right?
Okay.
A lot of people don't like that.
Right.
And I don't know what that
Well,
is.
you've learned to love it, right?
Yeah, learn to love it.
Yeah.
Learn to love it.
Because I don't think anybody is set up to be uncomfortable and like it.
Right.
Until they learn it. Yeah. I think that's a
sometimes
good skill to learn.
You find the best part of yourself when you're uncomfortable.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, the hard workouts they put you in that place where you're like, I don't want to do this. This sucks. And then once you get through and out of it, you're like, oh, that was great. I'm happy I was there.
Absolutely.
You know, like the pain cave they talk about in CrossFit, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pain
When you
cave.
can't breathe and you're sucking for wind and you're
And that little bitch ass voice in your head's like,
that is the best feeling in the world.
you're gonna die. You can't do this anymore.
Yep.
You gotta stop.
Yep.
And you hear it, and it's like your other part of your brain's like, shut up, man. I got this.
Yep.
And you do it. Or sometimes you fall victim to that voice,
Right.
and you're like, I'm gonna take it easy now.
Take it easy.
Again, I've been through all of them for sure. I'm sure you have.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And listen, no one's a robot, right? Unless you're Dave Goggins. No one's a robot. It's good to have off days. I'm not saying go crazy, but in those off days, go for a walk.
Yeah.
Enjoy, take it all in.
That's why we have that little sign there. I don't know if you ever read that before, but it's kind of small. I should make it bigger. But why are you here today? If it is an off day, it's like just do something.
Do something.
I tell people all the time, if you're not feeling good, come and jump on a bike,
Jump on
go
a
for
bike,
a walk,
do something.
jog, run, whatever.
It's more mental health than anything.
I agree.
I think this right here, this place right here, and fitness in general, is a key to the fountain of youth, man. I really do. I think you see all the people who are living in their 80s and 90s, they're active people.
We had that one guy dropping in 75 years old.
75 years old,
Awesome.
active people.
Yeah.
If you're a couch potato, you will not live that long because your body is just it's melting away. If you keep your muscle engaged, you keep your mind engaged, you keep everything engaged.
Agreed.
I think you'll live longer.
Nice. All right. I don't have anything really more I wanted to talk about. I think you hit a lot of really cool points, and I think it's gonna help a lot of people out. So I appreciate your time.
Thank you, man.
I'm happy
Thank
to
you,
have
Dave.
you a part of the community here.
Yes,
for
sir.
sure.
Appreciate it.
And you guys obviously know if you guys are watching this and you're here and you know Hunter, give him some feedback. Give me some feedback because
It's my first time,
Yeah.
first timer podcast.
Yeah,
See, I
well-
don't even know how to talk into my. I don't know the range.
they say if you get closer, you get a little more of like a.
Oh, that's me and my girlfriend will listen to a
Late night
pod.
DJ voice.
Oh, not only that, we'll listen to like crime podcasts.
Yeah, yeah.
I do that enough already.
Yeah.
And they get like really close into the mic, and this is what happened on this date.
See, it sounds kind of cool. Maybe we should do another one in the future, and we'll both just talk really close to the mic so you get that feedback.
It's so close to my face.
All right, man. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate it,
bro.
man. Thank you.